has a beautiful wife and 2 even more beautiful daughters. Carlos is a speaker, writer, mentor, and organizational catalyst. When I think of Carlos, I think of the word brilliant, exciting, bubbling over, seething with. Selling expensive products can be challenging because prospective buyers are more hesitant, and the process may take several weeks or even months. But by positioning yourself as a resource for your buyers and striving to make the buyer's job easier and their product better, you will be more likely to make the sale. The buyers will consider you to be on their team and will be more loyal to you and to your product. So from the Advanced Communication Series, Persuasive Speaking Manual, project number 2, is entitled, Hello, it's me. I'd like to introduce Carlos Velez.
Thank you. We all sell something. It doesn't matter if you're a realtor like Julie or you're a pastor like me. We all sell something. And we have the task and the blessing sometimes to be in front of people, but sometimes we don't. Sometimes we need to do that speech, that convincing moment through the phone, where we are not able to see the body language of the other person, and the other person is not able to see us, and our voice will be the only resource to make that change. That's why today I want to talk to you on conquering that cold call. That cold call could be to a client or to your spouse. Could be to your kids of why it's midnight and they're not home. I don't know what type of cold call you need to do, but what I'm about to share with you are necessary ingredients in order that you can make that call in a successful way. Especially, I'm going to focus in the area of sales, but this can be applied to every single area. You see, in sales, we don't sell, we serve. Excellent and professional salespeople understand that in order to be a great salesman or salesperson, the objective, the goal, is to become a servant. When people perceive you as somebody who want to help instead of somebody who want to take your money, the perception and the perspective change completely. And there are 5 basic ideas when we make this approach of the phone call, this cold phone call, that need to be present in order to have a successful communication process. The first one is that we need to do this operose job of doing our homework. You need to know who your client is, what kind of things he's thinking, what kind of things he has, and why do you think the product or the service you are offering is a need for them. And number 2, you need to be honest about yourself, your product, and your experience. All of us have the opportunity to watch TV at some point in our lives, and we have seen these infomercials of this wonderful product that for 4 easy payments of $19.99 plus shipping and handling, you will lose 400 pounds in 10 minutes, right? And there's nothing more disappointing than buying those products and you know, as soon as you open the box, that it's a piece of trash. Why? Because people are not honest about who they are and the product. Number 3, realistic about what it can and cannot do for the buyer. We can sell things that they will really never solve the problem of the other person, and that will work against us instead of in favor of us. Number 4, communicate and maintain contact with the buyer. Oh Lord, let me fix this. I am so sorry. This is completely out of my control. Communicate and maintain contact with the buyer. Advise him or her of potential problems. You need to have real communication. You need to tell that person, if you do this, you will be able to do this other thing, but you will not be able to do this other thing. and be honest and transparent. And number 5, concern about the buyer and the buyer's need and not yourself and your own needs. Sometimes you can tell, you go to a store, right? And you know when the store, they have employees on commission and when they are not, right? You can tell, you see? Because they're trying to make you think they're there for you, but you know, for reality, they are there for themselves. A real salesperson is an advisor. Let me tell you why this is so important. Because you can try to sell somebody to someone and never achieve it, but because you are honest and you did what is right, that person can find you so many other clients and refer you because you have become an advisor and not only a salesperson. You are not selling an asset. When you have that phone call, when you have that presentation, you are not selling an asset. You are the asset. You need to position yourself in a place where people say, you know what, even if I don't buy that thing, I want to have a relationship with this person because this person will tell me the truth. And that's how you turn that. That's how you turn that. Part of my project is to do a role play. And this wonderful morning, I have the privilege and the honor to have somebody that I love deeply helping me with this role play, and it's our friend Shannon Wallace. Shannon, could you please stand? Can you help me put your hands together for Shannon? Shannon is practicing for Miss Universe next year, as you noticed, and she is so wonderful. And this is what is going to happen. I chose Shannon not only because of her wonderful communication skills, but Shannon is an administrative assistant in a church. And what I'm going to try to do using my phone is to sell her a copier. Well, you already know how much I know about copiers, being in a seminary, right? And let's see what happened with this, okay? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Oh, are you Shannon Wallace?
Yes, this is Shannon.
Oh, so nice to meet you. My name is Carlos Velez, and I have a couple of questions for you. Do you have a minute, please?
Sure.
Okay. Shannon, what kind of photocopying equipment do you have in your office?
We have a budget-wise copy machine.
Oh, budget-wise. Pretty familiar. Let me ask you something. Do you have the SLO model or the SLP?
I believe it's the SLO model. We've had it for about 10 years.
Yeah, that's a long time, 10 years. Wow. That's the model that makes single copies, right?
That's correct.
Okay, well, it's working great for you?
It works well. We don't do a lot of copying, so it suits our needs.
Okay, let me ask you something. And it's working fine all the time? You don't have any complaints, anything about the copier?
It does break down sometimes, and of course, it's usually during our busy times, like when we're preparing our annual budget and reports for our board of directors. We make thousands of copies during those times, so I guess the machine just gets overloaded.
Wow. I think what I'm listening is that in critical moments in your job, you can count on it. You can't count on that machine. Is that right?
That's right, and there is a service technician, but they usually can't come for a day or more, so we just have to wait until they get here to fix it, and that delays us. So a few times we've had to send documents to outside vendors for copying.
Oh, wow. That means in addition to paying for that machine, you need to ask, a company outside of your job to do those things? Is that what you were saying?
Yes, but it only happens a few times a year, so overall we're happy with it.
Do you need to collate documents when you copy them?
Yes, almost all of our reports have several pages, so our staff collates them by hand.
Oh, wow. That means you take people out of their jobs to do that work of collate all the documents. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Let me ask you something, because I was reading in the newspaper that your company is about to expand and have several other areas. The business is doing pretty well, right?
That's right.
Are you planning at some point to expand physically your physical your building or something like that?
Not at this time. Our workload is going to increase, but we're just going to have to work harder and budget our time better.
Okay. Do you think you will need to make more copies with that new lot of work?
I haven't really thought about that, but I suppose we would.
Wow. I imagine you are the person in charge of all that, knowing all this information. Do you think in that plan of expansion you could consider the option of changing or adding a copier?
If one was reasonably priced and could copy faster than the one we have, maybe even copy double-sided and collate, and there was a good service contract, we might consider a second copier.
Well, you know what? Technology changed so quickly, and you have that copier for 10 years. For sure, I have something that will work better for you. You know, I have a copier that made 25 copies per minute, and double-sided, and collage, and even staple. And you know, you will be amazed of the prices of these machines. And if you want, I can email you right now all the details, because we even have a program that I can pick up your old copier and deliver you a new one. What do you think?
Wow, it even collates and staples?
That's right. And you can keep your people doing what they are supposed to do.
I would need to know how much money we're talking about and whether we could get a good warranty and the daily volume the copier could handle. And I would definitely need it in writing so that the purchasing people can review it.
Well, let me tell you something. You have my commitment that I will write to you a proposal. I will send it to you in the next 24 hours, because we even have technical support 3 hours after the first call. Technicians are supposed to be there where you are, and that will facilitate your life so much. I appreciate your time, and thank you, and wait for my email. It's underway. Thank you. We have, as part of this project, a time of 2-3 minutes for questions and answers about this topic, and we want to take this time to do that. If you speak all at the same time, it's very difficult for me, because I really don't know how to handle this. Go ahead, sir.
That sales dialogues kind of seemed like the best case scenario, because you had a partner. How do you deal with the person just, no, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to, they're seemed like they wanted to slam the phone down on the hook. How do you maintain communication?
Yeah, you need to do step number 1, do your homework. You need to be sure, number 1, that you are talking to the right person at the right time. And number 2, if that person is not accessible, you need to make another phone call to see if this is the only person who is able to discuss this kind of things. If this is the only person that is able to answer those questions and to engage in this type of conversation, then you need to move to step number 2, that is to do a personal visit and address those issues. This is more a phone call. That call, it's more a phone call for check how the weather is in the office. It's to see how things are going, and if this company could become a potential buyer for the product. As you said, this conversation went pretty well. It doesn't happen most of the time. But yeah, number 2, you need to check if there is another person you can talk to, or you need to take your car and go there and do it face to face. Any other questions? Today will be great too. It's going to help me. Tomorrow we don't have Toastmasters. If we don't have any more questions, I want to say thanks to all of you. And I hope you not only take these things if you're in sales, but even in your relationship with your family, in your relationship with coworkers. You need to do those 5 things in order to have successful communication. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carl.